Hamitakiapi, Lampetu Washte. Welcome to the ICT Newscast. I'm Shirley Snavy. Ready to level up your holiday shopping? ICT's gift guide is packed with native brands you'll want to add to your cart immediately.
Hi, this is Sandra Hill-Shulman, and we're talking about ICT's holiday gift guide, some of the best things out there to buy native. What we really love is a little bit of everything. We love books. I would suggest supporting native bookstores. Louise Erdich has a great bookstore up in Minneapolis. She hosts authors, sells all native books for all ages. In Cherokee, North Carolina, there's a great store called Talking Leaves Bookstore. They carry thousands of titles by native authors. There's also Medicine Wheel Publishing up in Canada. That's another good source. The Indian Girls Book Club. They're really great when they give out books year-round to kids at different schools and reservations. One of my favorite things that has been coming out lately is skincare. Bison Star Naturals out of Taos, New Mexico has really lovely products, unusual scents like cedar, which is warm and earthy. They do a lovely lavender, and their most popular one is sage pine. That's my favorite lotion, so check out Bison Star Naturals. Also, Brenda's Botanicals. That's more of a mom and pop group, but I just love the scents. They have lovely body oils, and I see them all over at powwows and fairs, and of course available online. Wine. Well, wine's always a great gift. People love wine. There's lots of great native wineries. Native Hands Wine is a really good one. And Twisted Cedar out of Lodi Valley, California. That's from the Cedar Band of Paiute Indians. You can also go and try Sika Hills Olive Mill and Tasting Room, but they produce wines, they have nuts, they have honey. They have a really wonderful orchard up in their lands in Northern California. I've been there. You can watch them harvest the olives and make the olive oil, and they have a tasting room. Always a lot of fun. Sweetgrass Trading Company, owned by the Winnebago tribe in Nebraska. They have good food things to get online. They sell bison jerky and bison bars, really good, unusual products. So check out Sweetgrass Trading Company too. Tokabi, out of Denver. They're actually the first native eatery in an airport, at the Denver airport. So if you ever go through there in Terminal A, you can go and get a bison protein bowl to go, eat it at 30,000 feet. That's always really fun to do. I've been there twice. As I changed planes, I took the little train to go to Terminal A and ate at Tokabi. But they also sell some of their products online. Clothing. Native fashion has exploded the last few years. We love to check out Hash. They're a native brand that they do more affordable line of T-shirts and hoodies. They've been hosting live events in New York City and also Santa Fe. Thunder Voice Hat Company, been very active. They are based out of Long Beach, California. They also recently opened a store in the trendy section on Abbot Kinney in Los Angeles. They have collaborated with Dark Winds. They got Jean Braverock and Kiowa Gordon from Dark Winds. You can see on their website they're modeling a line of shirts and hoodies and scarves and custom hats. So we really love to support that because everybody loves Dark Winds. BT Lux Thunder Bags. Oh my goodness. Brandy Sawyers has made the most incredible quality leather bags shaped like teepees. They're studded. They have geometric designs. They have leather tassel pulls. Every time I carry mine out, people just stop me everywhere in the street. They love these bags. So check out Brandy Sawyers at BT Thunder Lux. Really terrific. Sky Eagle Collection. Dante Bisgrayson has just been a powerhouse. He's a designer. He's an artist. He's a veteran. He's a really good guy. He's lots of fun. He's out of Taos. He has a store. Very active online, selling things. He's also started an Indigenous fashion collective, trying to loop in everyone around the world, supporting Indigenous and Native design. So he's a good one to support. Out in California, the Native Star Boutique. Ruth Ann Thorne has the Native beauty line, but she also has the first Native-owned store in San Diego in the Gaslamp district. With the support of her tribe, they purchased a building, and they have an art gallery, and then they have a boutique selling the Native beauty line. They sell jewelry from Cody Sanderson. They carry Patricia Michaels' beautiful dresses. So really great one to support down in San Diego. Out in the desert, the San Manuel tribe has a beautiful boutique within their Yamava resort and casino. They carry a lot of native brands as well. They support media and films. The San Manuel actually supported the Free Leonard Peltier documentary, so they've been very generous in giving back to the community. And they have a great casino resort with lots of concerts. Also out in California, in Palm Springs, the Agua Caliente tribe. Oh my goodness, they opened an unbelievable cultural center and spa that's located right on top of the original hot spring that the tribe was based around thousands of years ago. They've tapped into the spring. The water is 12,000 years old, has unusual minerals. You can go and sit in the water at the spa. They have cutting edge treatments, and they have a really lovely boutique that they sell not so much clothing, but jewelry and scarves, and they have food products. So all of that is in one big block in downtown Palm Springs. On the other side of the country, down in South Florida, both the Seminole and the Miccosukee have museums and tribal gift shops. Really distinctive. They do the rickrack clothing, which is so colorful and so beautiful and actually tells stories within the way the rickracks are of thunder and rain and animals. Such an exquisite craft. So you can get all of that stuff at the shops at the two museums. The Atatiki is with the Seminole, and then the Miccosukee, you have a village way down in the Everglades, surrounded by swamps and gators. It's a big adventure. So that's really fun to go down there. And then I was recently at the Museum of the Cherokee People, which is in Cherokee, North Carolina. They held a conference there, and downtown, blocks and blocks of stores selling crafts. The museum was recently renovated, so they have lots of beautiful upscale things there. So if you're in Minnesota, Lakota Made is a great place to shop. They have shampoo and beauty bars. They have herbal remedies. They also have clothing and accessories. They do bath tinctures. So great products from Lakota Made. We like relative arts, trendy young stuff in New York City, in the East Village for the Native community there. There's a huge Native community in New York City, which I think you have to kind of be in it to really understand it, but there's so many people there. So they have a great little boutique. Eighth Generation, beautiful woolen blankets. They hold contests for Native designers, for students. Beautiful, lovely designs. So that's a great one to check out also is Eighth Generation. So go out there and shop and check out craft markets and go online, try something new and buy Native and support it year round.
Our website, ictnews.org, features many more Indigenous ideas for gift giving. A Sami TV series from Norway just broke new ground at the International Emmys. It's the first ever nomination in the Sami language. Take a look.
Okay, måste alla introduktion någon gång. Namma, Eliana.
A TV series from Norway that features an all-Indigenous writers' room was nominated for an International Emmy Award. It features the Sami language and covers some tough issues. I spoke with filmmaker Celia Bergenborg.
This is a series about controversial subjects like sexual abuse and sexual identity in an environment where that's still taboo-ridden. But it's been really well received, and the community, Karasjok, the town where this is taking place in the series, has been really proud. Well, the Sami is the indigenous population that goes across Norway, Finland, Sweden, and also a little bit of Russia. And the largest bit of the population is on the Norwegian side. We wanted to sort of film making the Sami experience sort of a given. It's not a series about being Sami. It's a series about other stuff happening to be Sami, and this was a natural place to do so. And then, of course, in Norway, the Sami has been colonized, and the Norwegian government, as the Swedish and the Finnish, had active policies to assimilate the Sami population, and they lost a lot of their culture and language.
Even though it didn't take home the Emmy Award, it made history as the first Sami language nomination.
Nitsika tai gitsib. Nitsika tai gitsib means I feel the good in what you've done. Nitsika tai gitsib. Nitsika tai gitsib. I feel the good in what you've done.
Since 1962, the Institute of American Indian Arts has been a global center for contemporary Indigenous art. Our partners at Craft in America take us inside the campus to see the next generation of Native creators.
The central focus of the campus here at the Institute of American Indian Arts is our dance circle. The 4 cardinal directions, solstice and equinox are marked. Then the campus buildings radiate out from that. If you look out to the east, you can see all the way to the sunrise. That's important. That's how we start our day, and that's when we have the most energy. And I get a sense of the sacredness of the campus.
This is actually an international school. We are different nations. We are not all Native American. We are Kiowa, Comanche, Seminole, Chumash. We speak different languages. Our spirituality is different. We are different Native nations.
The school considers background and considers cultural identity and considers post-colonial stress disorder when it comes to students and our artistic expressions.
The college attracts Indigenous students from across the country and Canada as well. It's important that students have an opportunity to really hone their creativity from all of their different communities and cultures.
It was hard at first to do the cast for the metal cast for the bolo because it was too thin and we didn't have the right size box to do the cast, so it wasn't coming.
Native people have been making things and adorning ourselves since the beginning of time. Adorning every object in our life. Everything is imbued with imagery and story and connections to our surroundings, to each other, and that is the very core of what craft is.
It was really hard. I couldn't.
And just about every student who comes in here already has that knowledge because they've grown up in an Indian family. I came to IAI with the knowledge of my own tribe's really rich silversmithing history, but the techniques that I learned at the school were more contemporary techniques, basic jewelry skills, casting, and different types of fabricating. You can't build a house without a foundation, right?
I knew I just wanted to become an artist. I wanted to explore every little thing. I'm very much a jack of all trades, so when I came to I put all my effort into it. My exhibition is about ancestral teachings that come from our grandparents, our great-grandparents.
These are stars that they offer guidance to my people. They show us when we have our ceremonies, what time of year it is, what season we're in. They guide us. Then you look in the portal, you see yourself in the stars. It is something amazing to be around other Indigenous artists, to be able to speak art and breathe art with them. We can make art and use iconography from our tribes or just different values that we put into our work that is just understood.
That's a value, I think, to have Indigenous voices there in terms of the faculty and staff and other students who understand that Indigenous perspective. Those are guiding principles from the original founders of this institution. IAIA was founded in 1962, and we started as a BIA school, the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Of course, the purpose of most BIA schools was to assimilate the Indigenous students, but here it was different. It was Lloyd Kivanu's vision and philosophy that's the foundation for the programming here. Students brought their traditions and histories and cultures to us, and then they were able to innovate with their creative expression beyond the boundaries of traditional Indigenous art. So as a result, we became the birthplace of contemporary Indigenous art.
Being here really opened my eyes to what art could be. I was able to see that there's actually all sorts of mediums and styles, and geometric abstraction is something I was really drawn to. My current studio practice is ledger drawing. With ledger drawing, our foundation to draw on is antique ledger accounting sheets from the late 1800s to the early 1900s. Our traditional ledger art is very figurative, it's very representational. There are a lot of people, horses, ceremonial scenes. I grew up seeing my father work. He does traditional ledger art, so that's why it's important to me. It's because of my family, it's because it's a way of recording our history. A lot of the geometric forms I'm using are directly influenced by Blackfoot painted lodges. We had a lot of geometric symbols symbolizing mountains, sun, moon. So I'm continuing these geometric forms that have been here in North America for thousands of years, but in a modern way.
What you see here is one step in the process of chulkat weaving, taking the guard hairs of the Janwu, the Alaska mountain goat, and then processing it down into the point where one can spin with it. The Janwu comes from the top of the mountain, and I really, in my own personal practice, view it as being this sort of spiritual being. And so being able to work with it in this regard is, I think, just a huge honor for myself, just to process it, to, kind of have good intention when you're working with it is just highly important. Chulkat weaving is a way to tell a story, a way of honoring tradition, clan histories, a way of connecting ourselves to the land that we're from. Connections like that really kind of keep the momentum going and the inspiration.
IAIA really is a hub of creativity that really is unfettered. As a professional metalsmith who has been successful with my career, I had a pretty robust skill set, but being exposed to all these different mediums like printmaking, jewelry, sculpture, photography, this school has really enabled that exploration of different disciplines. And I'd like to say the medium finds you. I ended up having an emphasis in ceramics, which is really fascinating considering the Pueblo that I come from. We are known as potters. We're not known as jewelers. That just kind of came out and there was a connectedness that's there. I think it's just kind of inherent within the Native culture that the skill set and the talent is in the arts. And so the craft or the art is passed on from one generation to the next, and it becomes part of who they are.
It's important for me to pass on to my students to be proud of who you are and know your cultural ways and use that to create.
There's a community here at the Institute of American Indian Arts, and the commencement ceremony, that's where it's the most beautiful. We offer degrees in contemporary indigenous arts and cultures, and that's unique to the world.
The student represents their tribal identity. They become ambassadors of their tribe.
You're not just artists or writers or filmmakers, you are cultural stewards. Thank you all so much. Congratulations, and be fierce!
When they go back to their cultural communities, they carry on the legacy of what IAIA has taught them.
What we do as Native people, those words that we use for what we do, we're makers. Being with the community of other Native peers, all learning and experiencing this, making such beautiful work, so inspired, and just that interconnectivity that we have, that's all we have as human beings.
IAIA is a place that is in between that contemporary art world and rooted in traditional values and traditional work. And it's a way for us as Native people from all different walks of life, from the city and from the res and from just down the street and from all different ways of seeing the world, there's that underlying core of nativeness that holds us together.
As with any community, you give, but you also receive so much inspiration and excitement about what's possible. The more that the Native arts community can collaborate and communicate and address issues that are present in our world, in our life, the better, right?
Joining me on the ICT Newscast is Patricia Bischetti and Pat Pruitt. And Patricia, you are the executive producer and the director of the Craft in America series, which I've been watching for years and really, really appreciate the work. You featured a number of Indigenous artists throughout the life of the series.
Pretty much almost every season of Craft in America has featured artists and makers who are Indigenous. It's really part of the identity of our series. And so for all of our episodes and our separate shorts, there are a number of Indigenous artists, many of whom came out of the IAIA. And in this season and next season, 2005 and 2006, of course, we're featuring the IAIA and in the West episode, as well as the Indigenous crafts in Hawaii, including the Hokulea ocean voyaging canoe. And then next year, we're featuring Canoe Journey in the Pacific Northwest and also the Seminole people of Florida.
And Pat, you are one of the artists, one of the students, I should say, featured in this episode of Craft in America. And you're doing ceramics in this episode. And I think most people that follow the Native American art scene know you for your jewelry. You have, and congratulations on your wonderful work. But just tell me about your journey to school.
As you said, I've been a professional metalsmith, for 35 years. It's been a long time I've been doing metalwork, and having the opportunity to come back to school to finish a degree has been pretty fascinating in the sense of, IAIA is just a vast resource of just different disciplines and medias that a person like me as a student who can embark on. And having spoken to the metals professor who was my advisor at the time, he was like, you should go do something else and really explore what opportunities the school has. So that's kind of what I did, and kind of fell in love with ceramics and really just embarked on that journey. So it's been fun for sure. And I didn't know that was going to happen. So it was a nice surprise for me too.
It's streaming online, and it's also going to be broadcast, this segment on, is it December 19th? Did I remember?
December 19th, broadcast on PBS and streaming on PBS and our websites and YouTube.
Thank you very much for sharing this episode with us. Anytime we can feature your work, we're very excited. So Patricia Bischetti and Pat Pruitt, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you, Shirley.
Thank you for having me, Shirley.
Land acknowledgements remind us of the original inhabitants on Turtle Island. The Tongva people called the Los Angeles area home. Pamela Peters, a Navajo artist, pays tribute. Take a look.
Welcome to Tongva Land. We see you. The electric fountain in Beverly Hills, with your majestic beauty kneeling in prayer. The mural of Toy Purina in Indian Alley. We hear you. The orchestra of water drops continues to send prayers from Codovona. The laughter of children and a community at Tongva Park in Santa Monica takes us back to a traditional village. We remember you. Your names are remembered when we see signs like Topanga, Tahunga, Cahuenga, Pacoima, Cucamonga, and Pavongna. Thank you, people of Tongva, for welcoming us to Yangna.
And that's a slice of our Indigenous world. For all the latest, including the holiday shopping guide, visit ictnews.org. From all of us in the newsroom, stay safe, my relatives.
You got to run, you got to run.